When death strikes, it compels us to stop and reflect upon the true meaning of life. We often start questioning everything, from the engaging childhood memories to the fleeting emotions that guide our choices. A liberation for some, for others, a dreadful moment. Death lurks around every corner. Some moments and places where it struck make us raise our eyebrows. Have you ever noticed that men are more likely to die during intercourse or right after it? There are plenty of stories that attest to the death of men during sex. In this video, let's talk about the reasons why an enjoyable moment often turns lethal for men.
What's happening in these bedrooms? Are there scientific reasons that explain why men are more likely to die during intercourse?
February 2013, France. A married engineer named Xavier was found dead in his hotel room in Meung-sur-Loire during a business trip. He went into cardiac arrest shortly after having sex with a local woman he'd just met. The French railway construction company he was working for was later found liable for his death, as it was ruled as a workplace accident. Due to the court's decision, any partner or children of the man were entitled to a monthly benefit of 80% of his salary until he would have reached retirement age. I have no doubt his boss probably went to his funeral only to curse him. March 2016. Nigeria. A police sergeant went to the hotel with his mistress, a married woman herself. Moments after sex, the man went to the bathroom and collapsed. He had 4 kids and knew his lover's spouse because they were living in the same neighborhood. The cause of death was not disclosed. August 2022, Paraguay. A 54-year-old married man died of a heart attack while having sex with his mistress in a motel room. The mistress reportedly ran away when she realized the man was no longer breathing. She screamed and hurriedly fled the scene, leaving the man lying in bed, dead and naked. February 2023, Kenya. A 30-year-old man started to have difficulty breathing, coughing, and became weaker and weaker in the middle of sex with a married woman. He then collapsed on top of her, hit his head on the bed's frame, and fell unconscious. He was rushed to the hospital, where he was pronounced dead. July 2024, China. A 66-year-old married man named Zhou suffered a myocardial infarction. On July 24, 2024, he checked in at a hotel and called a former colleague to join him. The pair had sex before falling asleep. When the mistress woke up, she found Zhou was not breathing. According to the articles on this case, a court in China ordered the woman to pay 62,000 yuan or $8,600 in compensation to the family of her married lover. March 2026, Brazil. Pastor Moises Galdino, 53 years old, reportedly fainted following a sexual act with a secret lover in a motel. Emergency services attempted to resuscitate him, but he was tragically pronounced dead despite their efforts. No signs of violence were found on his corpse. The autopsy revealed that he died of a heart attack. In some cases, it's understandable that death occurred. The married man indulged into risky sex using sexual enhancement pills or practicing dangerous sex acts like BDSM. There are scientific studies in different countries that explain why men die during or shortly after intercourse. The first reason is the physical strain of the sexual activity. Some articles state that sex drains the energy, but others seem to indicate that it may raise it. Research has shown that adenosine triphosphate ATP decreases during intercourse. ATP is the primary energy currency in the body. Simply put, it is a molecule that provides the necessary energy for many of the processes that occur in living cells. ATP consumed during intercourse is very high, and males have a higher energy expenditures than females during sex. Science has already proved that fatigue is the most prevalent precursor of sudden cardiac death, so if a man is exhausted, he may suffer a heart attack during sex, especially if it drains his energy. The second reason is certain illnesses. They may increase the risk of a heart attack. Diabetes, hypertension, and cardiovascular disease can predispose men to death during sexual intercourse. Zhou, the Chinese married man who died of a heart attack during intercourse with his former colleague, had hypertension. The article even mentions that he previously suffered a stroke. The commonest reason why men die during sex is subarachnoid hemorrhage, SAH, which is a form of stroke, a bleeding between the brain and the thin tissues that cover and protect it. A third reason why men often die during sex is prescription drugs. Some medications that treat erectile dysfunction can cause a heart attack. Obviously, a man is more likely to die during sexual intercourse if he takes drugs that list heart failure as a side effect. As people get older, the risk of sudden cardiac death is higher. It is also stated that sudden death occurs mostly in middle-aged men. The fourth reason why men die during sexual intercourse is spiritual. In many cultures, a common belief is that sudden death occurs during sex when a person does something forbidden, such as betraying or cheating on their spouse, not keeping a promise, or a sacred contract. In Western countries, people rely on science to explain everything, whereas in other countries, in Africa, Asia, and Latin America, people have always relied on spiritual practices, rituals, such as questioning God or their ancestors, to figure out the real cause of a physical event. Interestingly, the articles about the cases in Nigeria and Kenya mention divine punishment as a cause of death. In some countries, a sudden death during sex is seen as a divine intervention that strikes those who do not respect the sacred laws. Having an extramarital relationship is considered a serious fault, a sin that may expose one to a sudden, strange death.
Science cannot prove everything. It is limited. Death is an energy, which has its own rules that science cannot always explain.
Are there important lessons that we can learn from these cases, Wizzo?
There is always a lesson. The real question is, can you learn and remember a lesson forever?
Lesson number 1. A mistress is not a wife. A mistress will leave her lover's body and run for her life as soon as he's dead. Sex does not always go with love. A mistress does not have the same responsibilities as a wife. She often prioritizes her personal interest. As long as a man, married or not, serves her interest, she'll give access to her body and turn a blind eye to his flaws instead of helping him improve and work on them. Lesson number 2. Adulterous sex over the long term has dire consequences. Infidelity has always destroyed families. In many traditions, sex is not just a physical act. It's even said that soul and body are involved, and energy is exchanged between the two partners. So adulterous sex does not have an impact on the tangible aspects of life only. It may infect you on the spiritual level, that is, make you develop habits and compulsive behaviors that prevent you from having safe and stable relationships. Lesson number 3. You don't have to learn life lessons the hard way. Felix Faure was president of France from 1895 until his sudden death that allegedly happened during sex with his mistress. He died of a stroke while she was engaged in oral sex with him. It's obvious that men won't stop having extramarital relationships because some of them died during intercourse with their mistresses. Most of them don't consider these deaths As lessons, they cannot control their urges and become serial cheaters who are guided by the search and need of pleasure rather than reason. Despite all the men who died during sex with their mistresses, a man would still risk his marriage, his family, for a fling and make the same mistake over and over again. Thank you for watching the video till the end. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments.
Think twice before cheating next time.
Mm-hmm.